Hello, everybody. My name is Luis Banhara. I'm in charge of the Latin American Caribbean business for Citrix. Today, we're going to discuss a little bit how the new working models with the pandemic that we just passed through and how to prepare ourselves and your companies to the new opportunities or for the next level in opportunities that we're going to have. It's very interesting because nowadays we're talking a lot about how can we improve the employee experience. This is something that we didn't have in the past, and it is very interesting because in the first moment when all this issue or this crisis started back in March, what happened was that everybody was trying to run and move people out of the office into the what I would say working from home, if you will. And what they did was that they put together usually a VPN, a collaboration set, and a conference set. And they said, okay, we're done with all this. And as a matter of fact, was pretty fair for that momentum that we were in. But nowadays, as most of the companies are already sharing that they're going to have a 50-50, a hybrid environment with working from home and working from office, and some of them putting everything in a very optional mode of saying that, well, do whatever you wanna. We need to keep thinking about how can we improve and take the most out of this experience. And it's very interesting because when you look into the employee experience, and this is something that Citrix is very keen about. Why? Because at the end of the day, we have been dealing with this whole workspace approach for the last 30 years. So when we started talking about employee experience, and this was pretty much back 1 year ago, customers were saying that, hey, why are you guys talking about all this? And I think that everything starts to make sense right now. So when we look into the employee experience, and we think about the reality of the work nowadays, you have four different blocks into all this. One, it is related to the IT tools and everything that IT is providing to make sure that you can do your job. Then you have all the process, all the workflows, everything that put things together so you can have something that is meaningful. Then you have all the behavior that you used to have and what the company imposed to you. And then you have the whole home and the office environment or the hybrid environment, as we used to say. So what is happening right now is that in the past, we used to hear a lot about digital transformation. It was a very sexy word, and everybody was using it. Then we had the pandemic, and people sort of forget a little bit about all that. But the reality is that not all the digital transformation projects was working. So McKinsey said that 70% of all digital transformation initiatives fail to achieve their goals. 7-0. This is a lot. So the expectation that was set at the very beginning, they just didn't accomplish. And this is very critical. And then they started to think in what is happening if the process was perfect, if the applications were there, if the people was there. So at the end of the day, four of out of five leaders believe that the employee experience is critical for their business transformation. And when we connect these two pieces of information, one from McKinsey, another one from The Economist, you can understand that the missing part of everything was their own internal employee, the internal workforce. Why? Because at the end of the day, you probably heard this before. When you were discussing projects and trying to balance between the customer experience or the employee experience, what you had was, hey, you know what? Uh, Forget about Luis. Oh, come on. Luis already understands everything that we're going through here. So there is no problem in delaying or postponing the project that will help him to perform better. Let's focus on customer. Guess what? They did it. All the companies, the majority of the companies did it and didn't care about the employee experience. And this is taking a toll right now. So what is getting in our way with all this? Well, we need to understand what is limiting this employee experience. And we, as we talk about IT, we have a lot of responsibility in all that. I have a bunch of quotes in here. They're very important. So, uh, um, Harvard Business Review said that 60% of the executives say that their employees are having trouble in getting the basic information that they need in order to do their job. 60. They just cannot find the information that they need to do their basic job. So, employee McKinsey said that they spend 20% of their time searching information. 20%. Hey, let me put this in perspective. This is one day in a full week, just trying to find and searching information. And then there is a third component that is a very hard one, that is the context switching. I mean, every time that we get any sort of interruption, take us a lot of time to refocus. So at the end of the day, when you think about the the set of applications that we have, the kind of interruptions that we have from our mobile phone, from a message, from WhatsApp, whatever it is impacting a lot the productivity. So, what are the roadblocks that we have? First, we have too many applications. Second, there is a lot of complexity in working throughout the process. And third, there is a lot of interruptions. It might be now that we are in a huge family co-working, from your daughter, from your significant other, from someone that is calling you in WhatsApp or in Teams. So too many apps, too much complexity, and too many interruptions. And what happened is that when you look into this, how does it translate? You have too little usage of those apps. You have a bunch of things that you need to keep searching. So you have a very little focus on everything. So what we have been working, and what Citrix is very good at, to be totally transparent, is that we're powering a better way to work. And if you think about the applications, the complexity of the applications that we have, off the shelf applications. So they are very complete, they are very complex. And as a matter of fact, when you look into all this scope, you have a very small percentage of users that are called the power users that can do everything and then requires everything. The majority, they will be everyday users that will have just one function. And I just love the multifunction devices as we have in this picture. Why? Because whenever I was at the office and I need just to scan a document, it was very hard if my assistant wasn't there, because in each different floor, you have a different multifunction appliance. And then I was looking into all those different buttons that we have in there, and I just tried to find something green, or with a play sign, or with a start sign. And then I press it, and then I try to hear something. If it was making a noise that was familiar to me, I said, okay, this is working. And then I'll try to check if I got the document or not. So why? Because I'm not a power user. I'm sure that my assistant knows every button that we have in that multifunction device. But if we compare this to the applications that we have access today, if we're talking about SuccessFactors, if we're talking about the regular SAP, even Salesforce, whatever it is, you use a fraction of it. Even the Office package, you use just a fraction of it. So that's the whole idea. How can we simplify the end user life? So in order to do so, let's think about the future of the applications and how can we help it. We are so used nowadays with the integrated feed. Why? Because we're using to LinkedIn, or we're using to Facebook. Something that the application just filters whatever is important to us and can help us, can guide us through the process and show what is relevant to us. Second, if we think about the notifications, It is very useful. You don't need to open your phone in order to get the information. The information comes to you. So instead of you searching the information will come to you. And this is very important. If you need to do something and you receive this notification, you can just click it. And you click it, and if it is a check-in, we're not flying nowadays that much, but still, if you click it, it will take you to the check-in area, or it will take you to check the availability at Airbnb, for instance. So if you compare the applications that we have in our mobile phone, the access that we have to the consumer applications that we have access right now, and what you have on enterprise applications, they are very different. And this is the kind of gap that we're working in order to close. With this, not to mention all the virtual assistants and artificial intelligence features that we can have. So how can we transform that SaaS application that is sort of complex, that is taking us a lot of time to understand the different functionalities whenever we need to do an action, and to mimic this or translate this in something that we have in our consumer apps nowadays? So the whole idea of the Citrix workspace, don't forget, here, we are not talking specifically about virtualization. Yes, we do virtualization, and we are very good at this. But what we're trying to solve is a different problem, that where virtualization is just one of its components. So when we're talking about the Citrix workspace, is a full set that will help you to allow your employees to have this similar consumer experience that you have with your legacy application, with the security grade that it is required in your company, in your enterprise, and with the guidance that is required. So just remembering the challenge that we used to have with too many apps, too complex, and too many interruptions, we're going to help you to organize all integrated apps, all the content, different devices, and all the communications channels. We're going to help you to guide with personalized information, with insights, with actions. And we're going to help you in the very close future to automate everything. So you can improve the employee engagement, you can increase the productivity, and you can bring much more higher value to the lifetime of your employee in your organization. And it changes completely. Oh, Luis, so what you're saying is that you're going to have a different application, you're going to change everything. I'm going to change the shell that you have, the cover that you have, and bring much more with intelligence, bring much more productivity to the whole play. So this is the face of this portal, if you will. And it's very interesting because you have here a technology that we've developed called micro apps that can break all different SaaS, standard SaaS applications like Salesforce, like Power BI, like SAP Concur. So it breaks the APIs into functionalities, understand with a single sign-on what is related to you, and list them in these microfeed apps. And this is totally automatic. You have all the apps that you need, the legacy ones, the local ones, the SaaS ones, in one separate area that you can access everything that is in there. You can have the files, and more than this, we have an abstraction layer that can congregate all the OneDrives, the Google Drives, the regular file sharing applications that you have, in a way that for the user, he don't need to care about all this. He just need to check the files. More than this, we can control and have tracing in all those files. So even though we are not in the same area, we're not in the same company, I can send you a document saying that you can't print and you can't save. You can have what we call the rights management, even though you were not participating in the very same domain. So the search, and the AI that you can have in all this. So again, what we are talking here is that Citrix can help your customers to organize, to guide, and to automate. And you can do it no matter what kind of connection you have, no matter what kind of device do you have, Windows, Mac, if it is Linux, whatever it is, and it can help to put together things that will, with security, help the employee that is working from home or working from office have the very same look and feel and be much more productive with all this. That's the new Citrix. That's where, that's why we're so relevant today. And you have probably heard a lot of different things that you might say, hey, this is not the usual Citrix that I know. Yeah, there's a bunch of new things that I need you to know so you can do much more business with us and serve much better your customers. Thank you so much for having me at the event, and hope you do a lot of business with us, and hopefully you have a very good time. Thank you so much.